sell properties in US, sell properties in UK from this same Nigeria, right? However, I'm not sure I can have that conversation because we can't even be talking about doing international sales when some of us here only have done 14 million, some have only done 18 million, right? Does that make sense? So, do you agree I should go back to the basics?
No.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, because I think some of us are here basically because of that international angle to the real estate business.
How much did you sell last year?
I did 80 million last year.
Eh?
80 million.
Yeah. The challenge, I will tell you the challenge.
Okay.
The average of what we sell internationally, average, is $150,000, right? So $150,000, how much is that in Ghana?
1.6.
Right? And that's one single transaction. Right? And we need to understand that life is in phases, men are in sizes. This thing is about phase. And if you jump a phase, you will not sustain. Haven't you seen people who are rich today, poor tomorrow, rich today, poor tomorrow? What's the mistake? They really did not grow organically. Am I making sense at all? Some of us, our secret today is that it was organic. It was organic. People who grow business organically hardly fall. And it's not because they don't have challenges. They will face challenges. But because it was an organic growth, they knew what they did. Right? Henry Ford said, take all my wealth. Right? Give me time, I will reproduce it. Because I know the process. I know step one, this is what I did to move from making 80 million to making 500 million. This is what I did from making 500 million to making what? 1 billion. Are we learning at all? Right? So I would say, I will focus on that conversation on giving us the basics. The one in Lagos, we are going to be streaming it on my Instagram. Make sure you join. Then I'll focus heavily more on the international conversation. Does that make sense? Right? So that, because we won't be able to cover the two today. Now, first things first, set a goal about 2025. What is your sales target for 2025? That's where we start from. Like Jessica shared her testimony with you. It was this same time like that last year. And I asked her the same question. I called a few of them. I said, what is your target? And she didn't have a target. So she had to cook up one quickly. You know, I said 1.2 billion. And now she ended up doing more. And I regretted that. Maybe I should have said a higher amount. Because she ended up doing more than the 1.2 billion in 1 year. Right? So the beginning is to have a target. How much exactly do I want to sell? So does anyone want to share the target? Yes. Sit down with me, relax. I'm a tough guy, but I love people who relax. Yes.
Alright, I'll continue observe. Like last year, I just joined. I
Go straight to the
okay.
point.
My sales target for this year is 2 billion.
2 billion.
Yes.
From 40 million to 2
2 billion. Yes.
Okay.
And today, as government had it, we're actually in one of your sites in Buzape. It's just for GTS to conclude. That's 45 billion. The clients are already willing, they are waiting for the fee.
Until you see their life. Number one, again, no, please. Until you see their alert, a sales has not closed. Even if you see check like this, they give you check, you hold the check, it's still not closed. Until you cash the check and it has become liquid. Are we together now? So very, very important that you manage your expectation. Now there's nothing saying you can't move from 40 billion to 2 billion, 40 million to 2 billion in 1 year. Nothing is saying that, right? It's just a function of understanding the requirements, right? Everything is possible, sir. It's just, are you willing to pay the price? Greatness is possible, but are you willing to pay the price? Success is possible, but are you willing to pay the price? Right? I have grown our business from 1,000 Nigerian naira, 17 years ago or so when we started, right, to doing transaction in billions of dollars in that 17-year space. But it has come with a lot of sacrifice. It has come with paying price. Am I making sense with that? It has come with even reputational attack. The higher you rise, some of you want to make big transactions, but you don't want to face the consequences. I hope you know that the day you start dealing with big customers is the day you should know that they can also deal with you. That's the issue with big customers. In other words, it's no longer whether you are right or wrong. If you sold ₦1 billion to a person, right, and the person, for whatever reason, has a bad experience, I don't know if you agree with me that the person has the resources to deal with you, even though they don't have the right. I hope you know, because it's a civil transaction. I hope you know. If you sell a house, you sell a land, it's civil. Nobody has the right to take you to police and harass you. Hope you know that. And now you can't pick call in my meeting. Can you tell that you can't, please? Right, so nobody has the right to arrest you, but people will still do that because they have the means to do that to you. So, number one, set a specific goal, right? And let me say this, there is no unrealistic goal. So it's 2 billion is not unrealistic. Some of you are smiling when you said it. It's not unrealistic. The problem is called unrealistic timeline. Can he do 2 billion? Yes, he can. Who's distracting me there? What's the issue? Who's distracting me? That's why I hate late coming. People come late and they distract your meetings. Who is it? What's it? What is it? Then let her come. If you want to see, come. Don't come late for my meeting and distract my meeting. I don't like it. What is it? Eh?
Few seconds, sir. So please, some of us can just come and share here, while some come here quickly, so we don't cause distraction. Okay, sorry. Just sit down there. Please, everybody came here. Please. Can you sit? Please sit. Yeah, comfortable. Thank you.
Please, nobody comes again.
Alright.
Right? Nobody. Anybody coming, tell them to watch on Instagram. After all, they didn't pay. That's why they say if you pay, you pay attention. If you guys are paying ₦1 million for this, will you be late? You will not. Right? And you're distracting me as you're coming late. I just don't like it. So, set a goal. There is no unrealistic goals. Are we together now? There's only unrealistic timeline. So, can he do 2 billion? Yes. But based on who he is, what he knows, can he do it in 12 months? Maybe no. You see the difference? No unrealistic goal, only what? Unrealistic timeline. Number 2 thing you need to know about goal setting. Let your goals be so big that failure will be a success. Right? Jessica, you will get credit for it. If you had invited the kind of people I wanted, I think we have a business. So, in goal setting, are we together now? In goal setting, aim so high that even when you fail, where you land is success. And that's the powerful thing about setting big, daring goals. If this gentleman say he wants to do 2 billion, if he does 1 billion, you don't try. Will you flog him? No. But do you agree with me that if you set and say, no, I want to be realistic, me, I don't like setting goals that I won't be able to achieve. He says 200 million. Do you agree? Probably will land at 100. And that's this failure, really. Are we learning at all? So dream so big that, failure in that big dream will still be what? Success. All my dream was to live in a 5-acre property in the US. I want my house to be 5 acres. Me alone living there. Well, today I now live on 3.3 acres. I failed a bit. Yeah. I failed, but
Failed successfully.
but that failure,
Still feels like success.
it is success. Okay? But do you agree with me if I had said from day one, I want a 1-acre property? Maybe I have gotten 2 plots, or not. No, I would still get it. I know myself, I guess not. It will just be 2 plots. Right? So dream so big that failure will still be what? Will still be success. Right? Let the barrier be high. Many years ago, I visited Dubai with my wife, and in fact, she was the one that reminded me this. So we paid to do this trip where you go take elevator, the fastest elevator, to the tallest building in the world called Burj Khalifa. And she was reminding me the day we moved to Burj Khalifa that I told her that day that we'll live here one day. Dream so big that failure will be what? Will be success. Does that make sense? Yes. Good. Number 2, after you are done dreaming, fantasy, come to reality. Wake up. Eh? And I call this methodology. Methodology. So what will now be the methodology to doing the 2 billion? Those of you who just came late, so we started with set a goal of how much sales you want to do in the year 2025. That's where you begin. Right? What's the volume? And somebody said he did 40 million last year, he's doing 2 billion. Anybody else who wants to share their own goal? Anybody else? You're laughing at the person, but you'll be shocked you achieve it. Right? So it's you to set your own idea system. What's your own goal? Yes, you. What's your goal? Sales goal for 2025? Huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. I was laughing about what happened.
I said, what's your sales goal for 2025? You to 2 billion. Okay. That's a good attempt, but mean it. Yes, you tell me.
My goal for 2025 is to make at least, to be very honest, 5 billion for the first 6 months, and the last 6 months make it in dollars.
How much did you make this year? Last year?
Last year, no, but I went for my lessons.
So again, we need to be realistic, right? I wouldn't say you should say, I want to do 5 billion in 6 months when you didn't even make any. Like I said, his is more realistic than yours. At least it did 40.
To be very honest, I made a sale, but the client came back and said he doesn't want to sell again. So
I know, but let's be realistic. So I would probably not say 5 billion. I could go as high as 1 billion as a target. Nothing wrong with that for the entire year. Remember, it's just a goal. You can't hit it and beat it. Nothing wrong. Jessica sets 1.2 billion and she beat it, right? When she was sharing her story. So you can beat it. But set something that even you can believe. Am I making sense at all?
Yes, sir.
Right? A goal that you can what? You can believe yourself. So number 2 is methodology. So what method are you going to use to achieving this? So I want to ask anyone a question. Do you have a methodology to yourselves? Anyone? Anybody else? You have a method that you know this thing works?
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a daily target of talking to at least 7 people daily about what I'm selling my own estate.
Talking to 7 people daily.
Daily, yeah. So on average, in 30 days, I should have talked to give or take over 100 people. And there's no way I'll talk, if we should use the 10% rule, there's no way I'll talk to 100 people and I will not be able to close at
Have you been able to do it?
Yes.
So, what was the average you closed from when you did it?
So I started last year May. I was having weekly targets also of making around ₦1 million weekly. So as of December, I was making an average of ₦4 million weekly.
₦4 million weekly.
Yes.
So what was your total sale last year?
Last year was 150.
150. Okay. So like I said, send somebody downstairs who will be attending to these people. She's downstairs, sir. So why are people still calling reception? Like, I'm not taking anybody again. Pick the call and just let them know that whoever is coming, let them know you come and attend to them. I will come and present. You want to see me? Is the lady not coming back? Huh? Oh, yes, please.
Good evening, everyone. So on methodology, looking at selling more high-ticket products that I sold the previous year. With that, maximum efforts yield maximum results. So let's assume, no assumption, my target for the year is $1 billion, and I sell more high-ticket properties than I did last year. I was able to be closing 50,
How
20.
do you meet the high ticket clients?
By running more or investing more in adverts,
What type of
networking,
adverts?
pardon?
What type of adverts?
Social media adverts,
Social media adverts.
Instagram,
Okay.
YouTube,
YouTube.
LinkedIn, and what have you.
Good.
And then
Networking. How do you network?
Okay, I can come and launch in Transcorp, attend events in Transcorp, and network with people that attend events in
You
Transcorp.
can,
Yes,
but can you afford it?
I've done it before.
Yeah, I know, but
I've done it before.
so when we say methodology, and good, please let me clap for the two of them. I like. When we say methodology, and they've all mentioned fantastic principles, and I hope we're all learning. There has to be a routine to your sales. You have to know that, like that guy said, I call 7 people, right? I get this number. Because ultimately what you then do next year will just be to now say, what has worked? Can I scale it? If I was calling 7 people, then do I call 14? Do you see the point? The same thing in our case. Okay, I'll focus on a niche. That's another conversation we'll have later in the day. How to focus on a niche. You can't be selling everything, right? And in case I forget, remind me to talk about that part. Because it's also why people don't sell. They don't have a niche, right? But in setting up your methodology, she talked about social media adverts. You must have a routine that's consistent. I, for example, have sold over $1 billion worth of real estate. And there is no week, right, that I don't spend minimum $1,000 on adverts. My methodology is simple. I do a video teaching people about real estate or any other topic of success. I spend over $1,000 to advertise those videos, letting the people know if they want to invest, right, or learn about investment, they should chat me on WhatsApp, right? And as people chat, I have my staff who then, because it started with me calling them back myself. now I no longer can handle that, right? So now I just push them to my own staff, who then call them, and they're able to do business. But this methodology has helped me to scale. Are we together now? My own business. And you can do the same. So figure out which of these methods will work for you. She talked about meeting people. Are you aware not all of us can meet people? Some of us are shy. Right? And I've seen people say, oh, because I'm shy, I can't sell. That's not true. I'm a shy person. Right? Some of you don't believe it, but my shyness when I started was so bad. When I'm talking to somebody, I will look back and I'm talking. I couldn't look at somebody eyeball to eyeball. So I have obviously improved. Now I can talk to people. But I'm telling you, my default setting, I'm very private. Forget what you see on social media. Extremely private person. I love to be alone. I don't like interacting with people as much, right? Personally. But I've had to work on myself to make sure that there's a routine. All right? I take my personal break, then I come out, I'm able to, at least that 2 hours I need to train it well. Okay? I go back to my being a private person again, or being by myself. I will learn it on top.
Yes, sir.
But create a system. So it means that if you're a very shy person, you won't use that method. Right? You just focus on doing the adverts, let them call you on phone or chat you or send you mail, and then you do your maybe Zoom meeting and try to close them. But it's not as if you want to come to Transcorp, because even if you see people in Transcorp, you will be too shy to walk up to them and sell them. Are we learning at all? Another strategy, again, in your methodology, if you think you are shy, then you want to say, can I have a partner? So if I must do going to Transcorp, right, I'll go to Transcorp with another partner that is not shy, right, and we'll be together, and then he will, of course, start the conversation. A lot of you notice some of us end conversation, but we don't start it.
Yeah.
Some people start conversation, but the conversation will not even have headway. We'll just be playing, they will not drop check. Who notice that? There are people like that. They are too playful, they will start the conversation, but it won't result to money. So look for such partner. You will not be the one to grind the conversation to, sir, we sell property. Sir, when will you pay? Sir, when can we show you? Right? Unlike your other friend who is just gisting and then hey, everybody's a happy mood, but money no day. Right? So create your methodology. So assignment number 1 and 2 I'm giving you. So assignment number 1 is what? Set your goal, right? A specific goal for this year of how much you want to make. Assignment number 2 now is come up with minimum 4 methodology to sell it this year. Minimum 4 methodology. At some point, one of my methodology was that I'll go and learn golf. Right? So I started going to the golf course. And today, some of the richest friends I've ever met in my life, I met them at the golf course. Right? Bloody rich people. And they are still some of the best relationships I have today. But I have to be intentional to say, where do rich people go? They go play polo. They play golf. Right? Let me go and learn it. So that sometimes the conversation is just, oh, when next are you going to play golf? Well, let's go. I'll join you. I shared this story with one of my mentees, and he moved from selling 50 million to selling his first 3.6 billion. One client. So I told him about going to golf. So he said, hey, he doesn't know how to play golf. I said, you attend a church or a mosque or a society, there must be somebody who play golf. Tell the person you carry their bag for them. And that's the exact thing. One of his pastors play golf. They said, can I follow you and carry your bag? I said, why not? So he told him the day he was going. They went together, and then he met his friend. The friend was looking for a big property to buy. And that's how the $3.6 billion naira was done. Like, because when he was introducing him, he said, this so-so person is a real estate person. I've been looking for land. They said, what kind of land? And I said, first time at the golf course, 3.6 billion. I'm not saying you will do the same, right? But I'm saying these are the kind of potential opportunities that come. Yours may not be golf, it may not be polo, but look for where do wealthy people gather. That it will be part of your methodology. Number one, I'll go to this place because I can get this. Number two, I'll do social media advice because I can do this. Number three, I'll start a podcast, right? Or I'll start a short content where I'm going to be teaching people about certain principles. When I moved to Dubai, one of my weaknesses was I didn't know anybody, right? And I needed to sell properties that were way expensive. Here in Nigeria, I used to sell properties that were a lot cheaper. You know, you want to buy 5 million naira property, right? 10 million in those days. Now I'm in Dubai. The cheapest property I was to sell was $300,000. So how do I break that barrier? And this is not Nigeria, right? It's very cosmopolitan. What did I do? I started a show called Investment Chat in Rolls Royce, right? And I got a guy who does TikTok. He was a TikTok specialist. And I started doing short TikTok videos. One of them went viral. Now has over 10 million views. Don't buy this, buy this. I don't know whether some of you saw it. Right? So I was pointing at a Rolls Royce and I pointed at a skyscraper. Right? I said, don't buy the Rolls Royce, buy the skyscraper. You know, of course it went viral. Of course, some people also insulted me. Some called me Hush Puppy. You know, some said I'm selling property or something, and I've not gone to do my teeth, to do veneers. All manner of insult. But it trended. And guess what happened? I started selling. Right? So, again, and why did I mention the backlash? So that you also are prepared. Not the day you start crying, yes, you know they call me on social media. Like, be sure you have the thick skin, right? If you want to also go that route. Because being famous also comes with its what? Its consequences. Somebody can embrace any allegations on their own, whether it's true or not, because you are famous. Everybody will pay attention. And nobody even cares whether it's real or not. But people that guy, they said he stole. That guy, they said he did this. So be sure you're ready for that. But come up with minimum what? 4 methodology. Are we learning here? Yes. Number 3. Okay, becoming a billionaire realtor is what we're looking at. Number 3, which is very, very important, is niche. I want you to write this down. The money is in the niches. The money is in the niches. The money is in the niches. The concept of, oh, I'm a realtor, all-rounder, does not work. You have to specialize. Are you a land banking specialist, where you specialize in helping people get land? Premium, right location. Are you into housing? What kind of housing? Is it for low-income earners? Is it for high-income earners? Pick a niche. Now, picking a niche does not mean you will not be able to sell in the other category. But it means you are trying to get people of this category to be the one to come to you. Are we together now? And it makes you to be quickly distinct, unique, visible, before they now pack you with everybody else. And you and I know that's the worst place you want to be. You don't want to be packed with everyone else. You want to be the unique realtor, different, nobody like you. So if you're going to do the niche, the first thing is to have a slogan for your niche. A slogan for your niche. So my slogan started when I was in digital marketing. I started digital marketing years back. I mean, today sometimes I write and people say, our guy is into blogging. I said, we pioneer blogging in Nigeria. Right? And most people don't know that part of me anymore. Okay? But when I started with digital marketing, so I called myself Nigeria's leading digital marketing consultant. Right? This was over 13 years ago now. But gradually, I started doing very well. I became very visible. I mean, Chivita, PZ, everybody were our clients, right? So, and we started growing. And then I changed the name. I changed the name again. And at some point when I then moved to real estate, 2015 was when we started real estate development. I used to just be a realtor like you guys. But 2015 we started real estate development. And then knew that the digital marketing brand, you are distracting me, please. I then knew that the digital marketing branding I have built over time, right, will not work for what? For real estate. So I started by calling myself Nigeria's leading, is it money or something coach? Investment coach. You know, investment coach. Then later I changed to Africa. This year now we've changed it to world. Right? Because we are global now. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So the first thing with niche is you need to find a slogan for your niche. A slogan that is so unique to you. When people Google you, they will easily be able to find you in that niche. Right? Even if it's a popular niche, but coin it in a way. Right? So my new slogan is World Most Influential Investment Coach of African Descent. And tell me anybody that beats that. Who else is in that category? That beats me to it. You see how you uniquely coined your slogan for your niche? That it's not as if someone will say, no, for this person, you can't dispute what I just told you. Am I making sense at all? Yeah. But if you have somebody, let me know, by the way, I'll be kudos. Anyone of African descent that is doing what I'm doing in the investment space, right? Mentoring people globally when it comes to investment like I do, and is also investing heavily globally like I do. Nobody of African descent that you know, doesn't mean they don't exist, but nobody has branded themselves to that niche. See the lesson here, right? So the same thing you want to do. Does anybody have a niche that comes to mind now? So that we make this practical. Anybody? Give me a slogan. I give you my own slogan.
The landlord maker.
Eh?
The landlord maker.
The landlord maker. Anybody else can be a landlord maker. So there has to be something about Nigeria, Africa. It has to tie to a part.
Location?
Yeah. So, e.g., because the landlord maker is just like saying land seller. Everybody's a land seller. Everybody's a land maker. But what are we together now? The most trusted land maker. Landlord maker. Now that works. Right? Nigeria most trusted landlord maker. That works. Does it mean there are no other landlord maker? There are, but there's none that coined their name like that. So you carry that title, you they go. Right? And gradually give yourself another 1 or 2 years, you realize that you actually be indeed the only most visible person in that niche. One more test. So I've perfected yours for you. Anybody?
Sir.
Yeah.
Nigeria's premium business advisor and investment coach.
Rema.
I think it's too generic.
Yeah.
You need something that's a bit unique. You know, like, I love the way she coined it.
Making Nigeria a continent one step at a time.
That's not your own title now. I say have a title.
Personal.
You will notice this with big companies. They all have it. Coca-Cola. What's Coca-Cola's title? We call it pay off line.
Open happiness.
Open happiness now. Omo. When Omo used to do adverts, I don't know where Omo is there. Huh?
MTN everywhere you go.
MTN everywhere you go. Which other brand?
Like, just
Glow rule your world, yeah? Glow rule your world. So the same thing, because remember, people don't buy product, they buy individual.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You are the business, they're buying you. So you have to brand yourself in a way that it sticks. So I met one interesting guy. You know, Nigeria's most trusted landlord maker.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Right? It sticks. And then, right? So you want to brand yourself now. One more, I want to hear one more person. Yes.
Your trusted partner for real estate investments in Abuja.
So, Abuja, again, my concern with the word trusted partner is just too generic.
Yeah.
So, find something that is a bit unique. Yes.
Nigeria most confidential land.
So I'll say my niche is the mortgage space.
Yeah.
So our slogan is stress-free mortgage application. So people just want to call him Mr. Easy.
Mr. Easy.
Yeah.
And but work on beautify, I like that.
Yes.
Right? So how do we coin this? Anybody? Let's coin this one. I think we can work on this.
making mortgage easy.
Say again.
Confident
Can you say again? What do you mean the slogan? Stress-free mortgage applications and the mortgage space.
So that stress-free mortgage application can be your company's slogan.
Yes, that's
Yes, but you then need to have your own personal, and I love that they call it Mr. Easy, that's fine. But, and this thing I'm teaching you, put it on your social media profile, right? Nigeria's this, Nigeria, it's what, so when they are Googling, you know, some people, and that's the beautiful thing, if you understand keyword.
Yes.
Some Nigerians in diaspora or Africans just will Google, who is the most trusted realtor? You know, those things will pop up because you use those keywords. That's part of the benefit of what I'm teaching you. Because if you use those, you just say that people just, I found you on Google. I was just Googling who I can buy property from or someone, an agent, and I found you. Right? So this thing you have to put on all your social media, it has to be like the tagline to say Nigeria's this, you know, all of those things. Very, very important. Right? So we can say the most accessible, right, mortgage advisor in Africa or in Nigeria. Right? The most accessible. Nigeria most accessible mortgage advisor. So when people are typing mortgage advisor, right, they are saying you, and you already say you are the most accessible, easy. You know, you see, it goes back with the word easy, Mr. Easy, right? So,
I want to say easy mortgage.
Exactly, right? So, but the way you want to coin your own is like, it's a title, like almost they give you an award.
So can you say
Just that you give yourself the award.
Can
And
you
you know,
say-
most awards start with the most this or the most that. So that has to start it.
Can you say like Nigeria mortgage king?
Nigeria mortgage
Nigeria
king.
mortgage king.
That's fine if you like that.
thank you very much.
Right? Yeah. Africa's mortgage king. That's fine.
No, I wanted to just bring my own, not.
Yeah.
See African realtor.
See,
See Africa. See African realtor. See Africa.
yeah, like they're seeing Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good title, but it doesn't give you, it doesn't make you unique. The issue is to say, it's almost like something people want to say, who gave you the award? Who sold you a number one? Who, do you see now? And your response is like, okay, who is better? Do you have an alternative, right? And they won't really be able to find. Did you see the point? That's the kind of way the title has to be. Almost something they want to challenge you and say, who made you the king? You know, and then at that point say, hey, we've helped over 100,000 families access mortgage. Okay, you'll be king at that point. You see? So it's something like that, that just, it's even a conversation starter. right? It's always fine. I saw on your page, you call yourself this. Who made you that? Right? And the conversation starts from there. Right? So you can call the answers. At least we've gotten two, so that we can move forward. Are we learning here? Yes. Is this helpful?
Yes.
So pick your niche slogan. Very important. Have a slogan for your niche that is unique and can help you to say, hey, this is my niche and this is what I do. Number two, after having the slogan, is you then need to communicate it. Some years ago, I announced on my page, I said, if you're buying anything less than $1 million, do not even chat. If you do, I may block you. Okay, and I knew what was going to happen. People started insulting me on social media. Arrogant. What does who does he think he is? There are people bigger than you, they don't talk like this. But guess what? The millionaires started entering my DM. Thank you, Jonas. Same day. Like, it's good job you are doing. You know, I need a property. Right? And I knew what I was doing from day one. I was setting the tone and the pace. Right? Are we learning at all? And I said it there, I said, talk to my staff if you are doing less than $1 million, but not me. Right? Anything less than $1 million, we don't do that. Right? We are big now. I'm not asking to do it. Before you try it, be sure that you've grown to that level. I hope this makes sense. So don't just copy things when you are not there. Else you lose your business. Okay? So pick a niche. Are you going to be high end? Are you going to be low end? And start communicating it. So number two is, how do you communicate it? Start content around it. Right? It could be 2 minutes. Good. Hello guys, my name is Stephen Akintayo. I am the mortgage king of Africa. Right? And today I want to tell you 3 things you must know before you get a mortgage. This. 2 minutes. Edit it properly, make it crispy, you put it out there. And you start repurposing and put it. Before you know, one of those videos, like mine has happened, we have 1 million views, 2 million views. And make sure all your social media handle is there. You know, make sure how they can reach you is there. Okay, all those things are very critical. Else you can become famous and one era won't come because they couldn't find you. Like that, don't buy this, buy this. You know, more people made money from me than me because I didn't monetize my TikTok. So people were now doing their own version and they would split the screen. You know, don't buy this, buy and they were monetizing their TikTok with it. Me that did it, I didn't make it down. Right? So you must know how to brand those videos such that it keeps helping people to trace back to you and connect with you. Hope this makes sense.
Yes.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay. Number what? Number 5. And number 4. And I will stop here because of time. I take some questions. I got into Nigeria this morning, 5:45 a.m. I've not even slept. Right, but I promised that we were going to do this, so we had to do it. And that takes me to what I'm talking about, honor. Poor people are poor because they lack honor. I have said this many times. If you can learn to honor, you can never be poor.
Yeah.
You can never be poor. You can master the art of honor. I was sharing this with somebody today, even though it was a joke. It's one of my media guys. I said, I spent over 25 million with you last year. You did not even send one number. I hope you learned because it's my mentee. Master the art of honor. Some of you sold to a client. I don't care how much. This is only 40 million I sold. If you can treat those people well, you watch the money that will come with it. Right? Those clients that bought from you, even if it's a greeting card sent to them, and written letter, thanking them for what they did in your life. You have no idea. A young man joined my mentorship program, and he's a realtor like you guys, and he sold over 200 houses, and he's been trying to become a developer, and he's been struggling. So when we had our first session, I said, my problem is money. And I smiled. I said, how many houses have you sold? I said, 200. I said, do it some are not direct. I said, get the contact of everybody you've ever sold to, whether direct or indirect. Message them that you were the agent that helped them to get so house, and send them a gift. Right? Now, the guy overdo it. The gift, even me, the gift he sent to me in December, I was 5 agbada, 4 shoe, he's gone AY. You know what? He's on his 4th estate now, 4. Estate number 4. Using that strategy. Because I told him, I said, those people who bought are those who will give you a first capital. They're the ones. Because the house I live in, or the house I rent out, you helped me to get it. And then you were just an agent. You don't want to start your own. You have people want to be part of things like that. Say, we'll help you. We'll support you. I said, so come up with an investment program. If you people invest X amount, I'll give you 20%. Right? But start, I said, don't go first and say, give me money. Send them gift. To thank them for the last purchase that they what? That they made. And you see how everything open up. So who will try this? Go back and honor those customers, including the one that say you want to be collected and not give back. Yes. Go back, send him a gift. Right? You see, we are doing because you cry and so on. Some of us are very emotional about things. Go and send the gift. And I promise you, the same person will call you back and apologize. I tell you, do you have something else? Send a gift. I've had things like, and I'm teaching practical things. Yeah. Right? These are not theories. They are not, pastor to acquire to aspire. These are the things we've tasted and we've run through. Okay? Are we learning here? Yes. So, send, and it's not about how expensive. No, it's not. It's the heart, it's the thoughtfulness. So I sent my Christmas hamper. I have this special hamper I sent to my own people that I want to honor every year. One of them received it, top person. I said, this is the most special hamper I've received this year. Very successful. But it just was specially done. Am I making sense at all? Specially what? Done. Honor people and you will never be poor again. I promise you. The problem with many of us as salespeople is all written all over our face. Just give me you. My commission. Right? My commission. Just give me the money. Right? Just give me the money. And they could see it that you just want to use them. That you just collect the money and you move on. Right? But imagine meeting a client for the first time and you came with a flower. You came with a perfume. You bought a bunch of apple. Right? I remember meeting somebody, I requested a meeting with her, very high network person. And she granted the meeting. And I got this special honey. Honey that comes in a box. Have you seen that? Special honey with a manual. I kid you not. This honey had the manual, the tree it was made from, all of that. And when I presented to her, she said, how do you know I like honey? So it's not about how expensive, it's just the thoughtfulness. And it opens doors. It's just, and can I tell you the honest truth? Which people don't like to owe. So you create a situation where they are owing you. How about that? Because now you give them a gift. Are we together now? Now you give them a gift. But again, don't tell me his money is the problem. No, just be unique about it. It's not about too expensive but unique. Number two, under honor, can you change your language? Change your language. Two things you must change: your body language and your verbal language. I've seen people talk in a way and I say, there goes your sales. There goes your sales. Are you aware that a lot of successful people will test you before they trust you?
Yeah.
Are you aware many of them will intentionally disappoint you and see how you react? Eh? And if you don't react to it, I say, well, good riddance. Yeah. They're going to use me. Let's be sure you are worth it. Or you think people don't know you want to use them? Or they don't know you get commission? You think they don't know? Okay? So it's already in their mind. Okay, you want me to buy from you. You earn something. Right? And you cannot be patient. Okay. And you cannot be forgiving. And you cannot be mature. You know, there are little things they are looking for. Soft skill. Yes, you may have been born in Ajegule, but this is sales. You have to become poised with your words. Right? Using the right words. Greeting people with courtesy. My wife met one of the most successful oil magnates in this country. Just at the interview, UK embassy. Right? She was at the embassy and then there were these older people and she noticed they were restless. She was sitting and then she stood up and said they should sit. Now it wasn't even the older people that were not the relationship. When she now got back to the queue, there were now another set of older people. I said, how would I do that they are sitting down? Okay? This one I stood up for them. How would I do? I'm also 65. You know. But guess what? They love that culture for me. And that's how they adopted both my wife and my children. Right? The most expensive wristwatch I've ever received came from them. Honor. Honor. Right? So both body language and words. And words. Some of us small thing, don't change your eye. I want to say, I want people to buy. Eh? Are we learning here? If you want to sell, you have to work on your culture. Same thing. I mean, those of you are ladies, you have those clients that are now toasting you. Are you aware there are ways you talk to people if you don't want such? In a dignified way, respectful way. They won't have such conversation with you again, and they may still do business with you. But there's another way you not do the whole thing that are we together now? So you must just work on, because this is where most of us, this is where the money is being lost. Yeah. It's being lost. There's some of us who have no master honor. We even select who we honor. Just honor everybody generally. Right? I have a rule, and it's been so helpful. Is treat people the way they treat me. My first disposition is to honor you, except you prove you are not what honorable. You are not honorable. And I can assure you, you will enjoy it. And that's what people don't know. You don't have monopoly of goodness. Everybody can be rude too. So when you build the culture of just being rude by default, you will get rudeness, and in multiple fold. Am I making sense at all? Yes, sir. And in multiple fold. How do you honor people? They said this meeting is by 6 p.m. A man traveled all the way from London, got back in the morning, did everything to prepare, even asked my people to prepare food for you people. That's honor. You have dishonored him by being late. And if I am to buy from you, that deal we will not buy. There's nothing. It has happened to me before. I lost a deal many years ago, millions, because of this. And it wasn't even me. It was my staff who was supposed to attend to the client. She came to the office, and I remember I was in the office because he was the one to attend to her. I said to me, Stephen, if your staff is not here in 15 minutes, I'm out of here, and we will never do this deal again. And this was when money was good. 8 million naira lost. I'd never even touched 8 million naira at that time. It was supposed to be my biggest deal then, many years ago. Because my staff was late. Guess what? She left the office 5 minutes later, the staff showed up. I begged her, I called, there's nothing. She didn't do the business. Don't ever be late to meet a client. Don't do it. It's better you are there 1 hour and you are waiting. Don't say it's African time. Don't say it's traffic. You see, the worst excuse you can give is traffic. Because it just means you don't think. Because if you think, you will have planned traffic to your itinerary. Like between where I'm coming from and where I'm going, isn't it? Right, there's usually 1 hour traffic. Okay, I will arrive, and very professional realtors target getting to a place 1 hour before the time of the meeting. And once they get there, they look for the restroom. If they are ladies, they adjust their makeup. Because sometimes you are sweating, you are taking commercial vehicle. You know what I'm talking about? Right? And you are trying to meet a big man. Right? So go an hour early. Go use their restroom. Adjust yourself. Clean up. Your shoe may be dusty. Clean up. So when you show up, they won't even know that you use keke napep. Are we learning at all? And these are little things. And if they now even discover, they will love that you still came prim and proper. Right? Because they will know you put extra. And you came early. All these little things are very important. Be courteous. If you are now for any reason now late, can you start by courtesy? Honest apology, and God helping you, you came with a gift. I'm so sorry. There's no tenable excuse for this. I apologize. And I'm not trying to bribe you, but I brought a gift. Right? It's softened. It's softened. But this honor thing, there lies your money this year. You will sell like no man's business. I'll wrap up with this story. This lady sold this property in Lagos. I think it was about 50 million or so. And then they gave her a commission, and she bought a deep freezer. Almost all the money was used to buy deep freezer, many years ago. And then you can imagine the truck bringing the deep freezer to the woman's house. I'm like, where's your address? And the woman was dumbfounded. How much was your commission? That was the first question. Is it not 10%? You bought me deep freezer. So yeah, you have pen. Take down these 10 friends. Tell them I sent you. Let's just say the lady did 10 billion at the end of that year. Deep freezer. Now, whoever bought something of 15 million, and because she still bought more with her, is it deep freezer she can't buy? Or is the thoughtfulness? Most people are always thinking of rich people, how to take, how to squeeze, how to get, how to grab. So when they see people who are not thinking like that, they draw you closer. They respect you more. Right? Because you're not thinking of what to get, what to take, entitlement. Right? And they are more vulnerable with you. They open up. A lot of times people think, wealthy people want to open up. Just like if I tell you now, I just did a deal of 1 billion. That's when you remember, sir.
My rent has expired.
My grandfather, we've not buried him all these years. God, I saw a vision. Where God used somebody to bless you. I just didn't know it would be you. Are we together? Yeah. So once you remove that barrier of I'm going to be disturbing you for money, I'm going to be asking you for things, rather I'm even willing
out of the little God has blessed me with, I'm willing to bring a gift. Oh, they are open. We stop here because of time. That's honey. So, we'll do that again. So I'll take just 4 questions and I'm done. I want to, before I start the question, I want this year to raise, I'm not so big on it. I want to raise 1,000 realtors that will sell over $1 billion this year.
$900.
Yeah, well, doesn't matter. Don't want to give unrealistic especially. We will take it gradual. Right? We start 1 billion this year. Next year we'll move. So I'm running a 30-day challenge. I'm inviting you all to be part of it. Right? Because I'm giving a car, just like we gave Jessica a car. Right? I'm giving a car to the winner of that challenge. So who's ready?
Where's the challenge sound?
It started 1st of February to 2nd of March. Every day we'll be running training. Every day. Every day. Cold calling, rejection handling. Name it every day. Alright, and we'll give you products as well to sell. Our product in Dubai, in US, in Nigeria. And the person who sells the highest, as I get in commission, will get a brand new car given to them.
I have a question on that, so can I?
Suddenly you have a question, yes?
Yes, sir. Oh, big question. Okay, for the international properties, yeah. So I know that there are some certifications you meant to get before you're able to sell in some certain countries. Yeah. So how does it work to sell from Nigeria abroad? Because I know there are some laws and some restrictions.
Right. Good question. So for you to sell property in Canada, in the US, you need to be a licensed realtor. Call it a licensed agent. And you go through an exam, you get a certificate. But the good news is we find a way around that. If you're a developer, you can choose not to give your property to a licensed realtor to sell. Are we together now? And that's what GTEX is doing for our property. We have a $200 million expansion in the US, 99 acre, a couple of houses we're building and all that. So what we've decided to do is not to give it to licensed agents, but to give it to what you can call a referral, and people still get commission. So a developer has that right to say, I'm giving to Jide, whether she's licensed or not, to go and help sell. So I'm not giving my property to a brokerage. Are we together now? And that's what we are doing with those things. So we're giving you opportunity to be able to sell those properties. All you're doing is referral. It's still our team that will close them, give them all the more detailed information when they are buying, and we handle all the legal processing and all of that. And that works. I hope I've answered you.
Yes, but I'm also aware that in countries like maybe the US, Canada, you are not meant to market or sell a property. Like if you're in property selling, you're not meant to talk about mortgage or talk about other aspects of finance. You're meant to focus on that niche that you're in. You're not meant to, if you run an ad of that nature, you might be worried or sued. I've heard stuff like that. So please, if you can show more like that, what
Again, if you're a licensed realtor, you are limited to the states that licensed you, right? And all of those kind of stuff. However, like I said, you are not bound by any law to sell anything, right? It is the state and the developer that has all those prerogatives. So for example, if we list our property to an agent, a brokerage, let's say our Brookshire, Jasper Brookshire, our 99 acre, if we give that property to an agent, number one, you cannot buy it outside the agent we gave that property to. So that's where the restriction begins to come, right? But in our case, we didn't give it to no brokerage, right? So we are open to different people bringing customers for us, and we're willing to give them commission. Of course, the only thing is that there are regulations to how much commission you can give. 3% is what is the standard commission in the US, right? So those are now where the differences are. Because remember, we filed for taxes, everything is documented in the US, so we still have to mention. So we can't defend why we give 10% when the standard, commission is 3%, right? So those are just the, regulations that we need to also adhere to. We can't, there are things you can't go beyond because it will now look as if something is fishy because there are standard rules. But as a developer, I can give anybody to sell my property for me, right? I can choose not to even go through an agent. I can look at you and say, two of us agree, we sign documents, we sell to each other. That's still under law. But they have a very regulated agency structure in the US where it's a state that gives you a license. Am I making sense at all? And all of that. But there's nothing stopping you if you and a developer agree. That's why you will be registered with us. So you have a relationship with us. We identify you as somebody selling for us. It makes sense?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay, the final one.
Yeah.
So, please. Yes. Can I ask questions on the limitations of selling abroad? Because a certain company from Dubai reached out, and after our talks, I noticed that I can't actually market for now, as at then 2 years ago, Dubai properties to some Nigerians I know, because people buy you like you said. So if you sell proxy, like they give you a picture, a video, and you keep posting, it might not really draw attention as much as you are in Nigeria, you're marketing Transcorp, and they see you in Transcorp, they already believe you have access to Transcorp. So assuming you've been selling for Nigerian developers and Nigerian properties, how do you develop that trust that people will commit their $100 million to buy a property you're selling in the proxy? Like you're not in the property, you're just telling them, I know someone that knows someone, or I know the developer. So I
think first of all, it's important to know that trust is not demanded, it's earned. And by earning means it will take time. Today now, I go to my mentees' sites just to see what they are doing. And then 1 week later, they tell me they are sold out after they put my picture and video that listed their site. Right? Because over the years, by doing, we call it the 10,000 hour rule. Right? The 10,000 hour rule says that if you do something for 10,000 hours, you rise to the top 10% of that field. Okay? So, because we've done real estate, as an agent, I've done real estate for over 17 years. As a developer, this is our 10th year. So one has built certain credibility over the years. That by just showing up, okay, just showing up. I was in Canada, I just left Canada, went to London, then I'm here. Spent about 12 hours in London. I don't want to share my itinerary with you. I have a crazy kind of itinerary. Some people believe I live in the air. Yeah. So, and this gentleman, he was one of those, he anchored my event. Very nice guy. He was an agent in Canada. I then told him, I said, how are you doing? He said, struggling and all of that. I said, you know what? You sell this year. And I posted on my page. I said, if you need a good realtor in Canada, talk to this guy. You know, people have started who are already talking to him to do business. One of them was already said, thank you for introducing this guy. He's truly a great guy. People already have started talking to him. Okay? But it took me years to build that level of credibility. And even with that credibility, people still attack it. Right? People still attack it. We had some, I mean, we've sold in Dubai tens of millions of dollars worth of property, if not over $100 million. And then we had just one, about 5 units that had issues. The developer claimed that the clients did not pay their money on time. The agent who worked with the developer was like a staff of the developer as well, went, disappeared on us and all of that. Now, none of those clients paid a dime to our company. They paid straight to the developer they were dealing with in Dubai. We leave them straight. But you will not believe how many of them whose name they're dragging. Still like that took my $50,000. Right? So and so credibility is two-edged sword. As much as it helps, it also becomes easy for people to pull down, whether there is evidence or not. Now, some people will see that clip now, will not say, did you even pay to him? In fact, I think one of them, they even lied that they paid, but nobody's saying, where is the evidence?
Yeah.
That you even paid to these people. Now, even if there is evidence you paid, what are the terms? What are the issues? So, but you need to know it will take you years. But the beginning is to start it. Right? It's not what you don't have that limits you, it's what you have but you don't know how to use. I told you I moved to Dubai, nobody knows me. And I just started with doing content. And before you know, the story has changed today. Right? So start it. The problem many of us are looking down on ourselves by ourselves. I'm not worth it. I don't deserve it. Right? I'm not sure they will trust me. Why not test it first? Whether they will trust you or not. Go push. However, it's important to deal with credible people. Because the same thing like I was sharing in those times as well. We're dealing with certain people, but this guy came and said he was working for this developer. He's a Nigerian, I should help him, I should sell for them. First say Jacob said we don't $10 million. And it's just the last batch that went back. Okay? But again, I've learned my lesson. Not to be emotional about things, because I knew some of the most trusted brands that I could work with. And I hope all of us are learning, because this is also where we make mistakes. Many of us want to sell the cheapest properties. And if anything is cheap, there's a reason why it's cheap. Right? And you know why you sell the cheapest property? In your mind, you say the expensive one nobody will buy. It's in your mind. Yes. In this same Abuja, I remember taking our brochure when we started selling houses to an MD of a bank. And then it was, our one bedroom was 17 million. You know what he said to me? He said, is there a 17 million house in Nigeria? He literally was looking at me with one eye. Because the house is cheap. How many of us, right? Bless you. How many of us have been in situations where we don't even know that people are doubting us because of the pricing, and we don't know, and many won't tell you. Because you are not dealing with somebody who is really at a high level, right? Who the last set of property he buys is a banana island and all of that. And then we're saying this house, 2 bedroom, and 55 million. Is it 55 million with the inflation in Nigeria? Right? Hope it's not one village in Kuje you are selling to. Right? You should look at who you are trying to sell to. So it's always in our mind. You can sell premium, but the beginning is also you to be premium. Yes. Right? How do you become premium? Just start tasting premium. Just start tasting premium. Nothing stop you to go and negotiate Rolls Royce and enter one. Right? Just to have a feel. Right? Nothing stop you to even do a research. Right now, our campaign as a company now, because we notice people that everybody's selling Kuje for 500,000. You are selling Kuje for 5 million. Well, we are not the same. So we have, in the next few days, you'll be seeing about 10 billboards we have. And the slogan is simple. We are the land banking we are the Rolls Royce of land banking. Don't compare us. And you compare Toyota to Rolls Royce. No wrong now. Right? So we don't even want to argue with you on price. We are just not cheap. Simple. And that's how you learn how to sell premium. Premium doesn't explain itself. Have you ever, am I making sense? Have you ever gone to a Rolls Royce shop and say, explain to me why this Rolls Royce is expensive? That's part of what makes you premium. We don't talk. We don't owe you explanation. Right? Luxury or nothing. So many of us don't even know that the way you sell normal property is not the way you sell luxury. You know, normal, you say, 10 minutes from Dunamis, 15 minutes from airport, 25 minutes. Are you aware you don't sell luxury like that?
I'm not aware, I'm not like
I like your honesty. Right? Look at Rolls Royce advert. I said at 200 kilometers per hour, the only tick you hear is that of the clock. Right? Meanwhile, other cars, they say, V8 engine. What else? Right?
Then turbo.
They'll give all the stories. Rolls Royce can't give me. I don't owe you explanation. One slogan enough. Those who know it, know it. Those who don't know it, they don't know it. No argument. And so you must separate the two. And when you come to the market, you must understand what people are selling. It's a name. We have a new campaign we're running now where we're having celebrity. I think today was Alibaba. Literally, Alibaba went to 2 of the winners' house today and picked them from their house to their place of work in a Rolls Royce. Right? Intentionally, all through this year, our campaigns are around Rolls Royce. So that we can change the mindset of digital is expensive. Yes, we are. And we are proud of it. But not for everyone. Okay? But those who patronize us, they know what we stand for. We are arguably the only real estate company in Nigeria that some people paid us for land 10 years ago. They've not gone to see the land. The land is waiting for them. If they come 50 years from now, the land is waiting. That's quality. There are lands people bought. It wasn't even the developer that cheated them. 2 years later, another person has built a house on the land they bought. When they call the developer, I say, well, we are allocated to you. I don't know what happened. Are we learning at all? Yeah. So for us at GTES, we know what we stand for. We stand for reliability. Do you know we're the only company in the history of Nigerian real estate? We just did a press conference in December. Is there anybody owing us? We are buying back the land. We're buying back. So what we are telling you is that we are solid. You can count on us. Right? So, but you must understand these things because many of us as realtors don't know. So you're always just a cheapest one, 500,000, cheap. Meanwhile, you are now saying, I've not done $1 billion. Because the day you come to me and tell me land is 500,000, I'm already doubting you. Right? And there's no, sometimes people really are rich, don't look it. Yeah. I hope you know. That's why this Abuja, you know people can fake. Right? You know people are fake in Abuja. Fake Rolex. Live in 1 bedroom but has a G-Wagon. You've not seen.
Some of them don't go have an apartment.
Nah, so. Right? Are we together? Are we together? G-Wagon is paying installment. Is enough for G-Wagon? No, God, don't say that for G-Wagon. There's nothing we've not seen. Okay? So, it's not by, are we learning at all? Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, don't even go about just sizing people. Because sometimes you can be wrong with those sizing. particularly in this kind of environment where everybody is looking for contract and package and borrow things to look the part. Just honor people generally. You'll be shocked that some of those who will open the door for you don't look it. Like I said, this couple that my wife met, they didn't look it. They not in any way. If they still enter here today, you see, these people must be struggling. But these ones do over $20 billion in transactions annually. Liquid. Okay? And they don't look it. So it's not by look. Not by look. So you just work on yourself, work on your courage, and you too must work on your courage. You have to look it. You are selling luxury. It's not about expensive. I still don't wear designer. If you see me wear any designer, it was a gift. And today now I'm being spoiled left and right with gifts. Right? And I want to thank people for doing that. But I'm not superficial. Okay? But I have always learned to understand how to dress proper. How to look the part. For many years in this country, I suffered because I was very skinny, and then I dress, just wear my shirt, and then people are just like, then you talk to these big figures, nah. But just one change in dressing, change everything. I started wearing a brother. You guys money. So you must even understand the language, right? I did a session, and a young guy, very young, he's probably less than 27, and he was now dressing the shirt and all that. He said he's MD of a real estate company. But me and you told him, come on, step up your game. Because you are young, is more reason you should be in suit. Are we together now? And else people will start doubting you. Just realize, and I suffered that for years. People just had doubts on my name, and I don't know why. But in their mind, remember, many of these people are in their 60s, and they've not seen the kind of money we are talking about. Then they see somebody in his 20s saying, we are doing real estate, we have 3 acres. So understand the environment you are in and how you want to restructure your looks, your branding, your courage, so that it fits it. Okay? Yes.
Okay, so at least I want to stand down and stand up so that I will honor you now. You are also standing. This is an opportunity for me to express myself. Seriously, since from 2022, I've learned so many things from you. It's a question, but I want to experience some background. So I learned business strategies. I learned so many. Even the last, I think there were 3 videos I've watched one related to your goal settings. So I'm working so much on it so that I'll make sure that I put it into my business. I'm into e-commerce. So, and I read, I think 3 of your books, Billionaire Addict, Billionaire Coach, and Billionaire Last Banker. So I've been struggling with this idea of, okay, I love real estate, I love what you do. I love real estate.
Did you bring my books for you?
So I want to be able to be managing my business as well as also participating in the real estate actively. So last year, after attending so many of your programs, so I decided, okay, we'll bring 3 teams together. So can we start a real estate kind of thing where we can have staffs, because I'm managing an e-commerce company, so managing real estate too and trying to do it is something like, it's terrible for me. I cannot focus. So while we started that, we started running ads. I think we spent like 500,000 or so running ads. At a point, we noticed that most of the properties, the client say it's expensive, I don't know, maybe it's our target and all of that. But we're able to sell some few that was not yours like that. So, but to cut the long story short, now, myself, I think we've invested in 1 or 2 of your properties already that I think from 2022 has changed from 7 million to 1, I think currently it's 37.5. So we want to do more of that, and not only that, we want to see how we can also bring others to selling your property. Right now I'm here with one of our staff, and last year, end of year dinner, this year I was not able to come, but one of our staff represented. So we are trying so hard to see like 2 of your latest book is already in my office. I'm trying so hard to make sure that I put all these things, but it's tough for me. And secondly, even when I want to invest my company money, so it looks like my cash flow is affected, because I also want to, like, one of my goals this year for the company is to hit $1 million goal. So last year we did very well, and then we want to do at least 5x or 10 of the year. So these things are troubling me, and it's one of the reasons why I decided to still come here. Maybe I could find solutions, I could find some explanations that make things better.
Because of
Thank you
time,
very much, sir.
you're welcome. I think the first question is just like I shared earlier. Many of us need to start investing in learning about luxury, right? It's a training, it's a journey you all need to go through. Because as you then begin to invest in learning it, okay, it works. For example, why did I choose to buy, I live in a multi-million-dollar house in the US, you know, and why did I buy that house, 3.3 acre property? It's because that is the kind of house I want to build on the lands we currently have now in the US. I need to have that experience for myself. Am I making sense at all? And I know where you are going, but some of us cannot afford such yet. Borrow it. Years ago, I would go and lodge in an hotel for 2 days, but it must be a 4-star hotel. Just to start experiencing what it means, all right, for things to be excellent. I needed to change my taste. I was born in a village in Meduguri, right? So you know what I'm talking about. I need to rewire my mind. So I go to Manhattan, New York. Rather than just stay in one cheap hotel in New York, I will go to the 5-star hotel, and I want to be lodged in the 70th floor. And I will be watching the entire New York, and I will begin to pray and prophesy that one day I will be building skyscrapers like this.
Yes, sir.
Because you have to change what is there. You have to change what is there. This issue of people say is expensive, again, is from the way you said it. People, am I making sense at all? Yeah. Luxury is all about perception. It's all about perception. When I deal with customers, for example, I start my conversation with, "This was your budget." You know, as long as I open budget, I say, well, first of all, we don't even sell, we're not cheap. Right? Average of our property starts from 20 million naira, even the lands we sell in Nigeria. You say, I'm setting the stage before you come and start some talks that don't make sense. Okay? And I will tell you why. Because just like you are saying, you bought some property from us for how much?
5 million.
5 million.
Yes.
They are now worth 7 million.
So
7 million.
It's now worth 37.
37 in how many years?
That's 2022 to now.
2022 to
About
now.
2 years.
How many real estate companies have such? Right? There's some real estate companies, the land has not appreciated till tomorrow. And the thing remains bush till Jesus comes. Right? Some of those estates we've had to do first, we are at a loss on some estates. Because we had to just put some structure. Am I making sense at all? Yeah. So, but it begins with how you start the conversation with them. It begins with your own confidence in what you sell. Here's the biggest secret, and I want all of you to try it. What is the highest training you've paid for? Can you double it? Right? Double it. You see, what gives you respect, the ability to charge people huge money, is because you've also paid people that kind of money. Yeah. Many years ago, I would do trainings, you know, by the way, this training, if I were to put a price to it, I will not charge you less than 250,000 naira. It is the value I carry. Rather than we start long story, okay, select a few people who are extremely doing well, who can move to the next level and let me offer it for free. But to do training of 20,000, you won't see my name. Rather, I'll make it free. Am I making sense at all? Yes. But do you know I wasn't like that before? Right? In fact, I have done training of 2,500 naira in this company. My first ever train was 750 naira per person. But one time, myself and my wife, we traveled for this training in the US. It was a cruise. So meeting these top people, we used them on 6 islands. And it cost us over $20,000. Oh, me and my wife were literally jumping because of the cost it cost us. We were just saying, we must make this money back. Must make this money. But that was the first time I was able to raise the price of my training. And I was shocked that people paid. So it was me all along. Am I making sense at all? Yes. This year that I speak to you now, I'm starting a program at Harvard University for founders, $150,000 for 2 years. $150,000. The reason many of us can't sell is that we've not invested in our brain. My own biggest asset is my mind. It's not car, it's not, and I have luxury. But that's not my biggest asset. My brain. I invest in my mind. I want to learn. I want to host great minds. I want to have conversation with great people. Okay? There's somebody I went to host on my podcast. And he told me Wednesday he wants 5 million plus. Very successful woman. I said, pay. I said, I want that conversation. Whether my audience watch the podcast or not, me, I want to have a conversation with this woman. Pay. So the problem is we haven't invested. So my assignment next is please pay for a training this year. Even if you will be doing installment payment, it helps your mind. It helps you to say, if I don't invest in myself like this, am I making sense at all? I deserve some respect. Am I making sense at all? I deserve, many of us, our problem is sense of self-worth, where you see yourself as worthy. I tell people, I said, I don't care the type of dressing somebody is wearing. If the person is rich, I know. There's this confidence, there's this aura, there's this sense of worth. Even if the person is wearing rag, that is there. Right? And it comes from the place of, I have invested in me. I am worth something. I'm not cheap. I place premium on myself. So, for you to spend a whole year, right, and you can't pay to attend trainings and sit down and learn, where do you think you meet rich people? Free trainings? No. Why do you think I'm paying for that Harvard program? Anybody else that will pay $150,000 for a training, I want to be their friend. Eagle does not fly with vulture. Go wrong. Make sense at all? Uh-huh. So, why I'm going for that program is that I need to build a new network of powerful people in America. Right? I wasn't born in America. Okay? But by going for one, this is Harvard University. 150K. Come on. Presidents and founders of companies. First of all, no president and founder will be there at their companies less than at least $50 million. Nobody there. Those are the new friends I want to make in America, in my American job. And guess what? Those are the people who can pay my $1 million houses that I will be building on those lands and buying. Yeah. We learning at all?
Yes.
You are 2-3 steps ahead. Not that later you build houses, nobody's buying, and the problem is nobody's buying. You were supposed to think it through and make move and begin to build relationship into the new future. My brother, are you learning at all?
Yes, sir. Yes, doctor.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. So the problem is the internal hasn't changed yet. The internal is still cheap. Cheap things, cheap price, cheap. And once that change, you will see that the external will change and your world will recognize it.
Notice.
Make sense?
Yes.
I could have hosted you guys, for example, anywhere else, you know that. I'm not charging. But it's just the understanding of I am me. Right? It's either we do luxury or not. The Lagos version is in Whitbaker Hotel. Right? Whether we are charging for it or not, we stand for certain quality. Right? Yes. You've asked many questions. You know, yes, one more and we'll go. I still have some announcement then we'll go.
You said the sales I did at the first bank that I should give the person.
Sit down.
Sir?
Sit down and answer.
You said I should give it to the person. I'm trying to let you know that most of the people that I work with are actually like men, more of men, like family men. And the family men I mean are people like, for example, there is a man.
They are married men.
No, not the married man part. There is this particular man that he goes to Lagos to host a presentation, probably the right people and the company that is bringing the land to. And I've always known that I should offer value. So when, after making that presentation, he falls back to me to help him make research on that land and get the direct source of it. So this kind of person said I should give premium, and my need is mostly acres of land, like Kusata and Montana. If I'm to give it, what can
You can do a portrait. There are guys who draw people's pictures and you send it. Like I said, it's not about being expensive. It's just being creative and being thoughtful. One of my mentors, they exhausted all my options. I'm doing portrait. I've done portrait for his wife. I've done all manner. So one day I don't go meet any mentor empty-handed. I go with a gift. So this last time there was almost nothing. I said, get a tailor. A good tailor. And then the tailor went, I said, sir, this is a good tailor, it does bespoke. Right? I hosted the same mentor in the US. If I was there, I said, should I tell them? This should be suit you so fun. Right? He loved that suit there. Can he not sew it for himself? That's not the issue. In fact, at that point, he then opened up that he had lost weight and that he needs the guy to even resize all his other suits. You'll be shocked the problem of each people. You'll be shocked. Not that let me go and buy Rolex. You'll be shocked they have boxes of those same Rolex that they're not using. But if you can just think well, you'll be able to come up with something that they will immediately use. Right? And it will mean so much to them. Am I making sense of it? It will mean so much to them. So don't just be sensitive. I remember somebody I knew. It was also, my rosary, was top guy in the police, and he mentioned rosary. I went to Jordan and they had this type of rosary with fig tree or something, one of these unique trees. And I bought, he meant the world to him. Of course, now he's changed the rosary to the one I bought from Jordan. Do you see now? That is way more than, so it's just for you to think. So, and when you interact with them, you're just observing their likes, what they like, what is special to them. But I can assure you, these things are not, it's not about something expensive. You can do a portrait, easy. Right? And send it to you. Yes.
So, sir, how do one handle clients, for instance? You guys are conversing well, the conversation is going well. I want to see this property. Sometimes they don't go as far as saying the property. Or maybe you guys are still chatting and all of a sudden you just go cold. You try to read your conversation, you were not rude, you were all right, like you were saying the right things, but good morning. Like for instance, what I'm saying is there's a client we're talking well. I want to see this place. I said, okay, sir. He called me, give me 15 minutes. I'll come by. Then later he sent me a message, I'm not coming again. Let's meet another day. I missed his call. I've been calling this man for like, not like, I don't call repeatedly. Like maybe I call today, I'll call like next week. I'll send this, is there a problem? And I noticed it like not just with him, some other clients too. To send you message, okay, later on, the message will just go mute. You're sending, some of them are reading it, they're ignoring you. Like, how do one cope with that kind of thing? Because sometimes it can be like, am I not saying the right thing, or is something going?
Good question. I like that. How many of you have the similar issue? Right? Almost everybody. Ghosting clients. So the first solution to ghosting clients is to fill up your pipeline. Right? Fill up your pipeline. Right? So much that you have too many clients. So whoever chooses to ghost you is their own problem. Number two is to have a structure for, we call it sales funnel, for really educating your client. So if my client reach out to me now, I ask for your full name, I save it, and I add you to a blockers list.
Yeah.
Permission, I don't understand.
It's not a
If they don't save your number, they won't get the list.
It doesn't matter. You will never know whether they save you or they save you. They've chatted you to start with. Are we together now?
Yes.
I save your number, I add you to a blockers list, and I have my regular messages every week that I send. Right? What I am doing, the countries I'm visiting, the update of our business. I realized that some of them 2 years later say, I'm so sorry, sir. That day I wanted to pay on my system. I should be careful that 2 people are 419. I regret it. If I once told me in Houston, and my book, I said, this year, me and you, Dr. Stephen, 5 and 6. I said, because I lost opportunity, one of your property, you're selling for 1.5 million. I watch it rise to 40 million. So I'm not, you see, it was my sister in Nigeria. She said, people are scammer. And I watch that you've grown. So I won't do it again. So people do that. The first solution is have enough people. So that as many as choose to ghost you, is their business. You will get enough that will do business. Right? Number two is create a system where you naturally just message everybody. Because you will be shocked that it's one day out of the blue. The person who has ghosted will reappear in real flesh and we do business. Right? Are we together now? Yes. So you just don't take sales. If you are emotional, you can't do sales. Yeah. You can't do sales. You have to work on your emotions. It's not sentiments, it's not emotion. If they like, they buy. If they don't like, we move. Our own is that 2 billion by the end of the year. Yeah. That's the attitude. And if you need to now listen to 2 hours of motivational message every day, do it. Right? Be mentally prepared for rejection. That people will say no, they will give you all this, and also have answers. Like what you were saying about, you were saying it's too expensive. Then there are questions that do you know you can Google answer to expensive rejections.
I use the AI I ask AI to help me generate answers that could tackle that rejection.
Yes.
I was actually on it, but because I wasn't really into it, so I had to leave it at a point.
And that's your own fault.
I understand.
That's your own fault. So work on yourself. Join a coaching. And that's why we're doing this 30-day challenge. All of you should be part of it. Invite people. I'm hoping we get, my goal is 10,000 people for that. And I'm hoping 1,000 out of the 10,000 will do 1 billion. Right? And like I said, I'm giving a brand new card to the winner of the challenge. Right? In the course of it, we'll do product training. But those of you in Abuja, the Abuja office, we're on Airport Road. We'll be doing a training for you this weekend if you can come. Right? And we'll do role play. We'll do rejection answering and all of that as practical session. Some of you came late. We've already addressed some of the properties we sell, how we sell it. Also make sure you put down your name, email, phone number. We'll send you our brochure, right? And there will be during the session you can ask questions about the properties we have and all of that. But this year, I want to have more Jessicas, right? I don't want just one person doing 1.2 billion or 1.4 billion she's done. I want to have 1,000 people doing it, right? And I want to